If you wish to retain the attention of the House, then brevity is the order of the day. Richard Drax.
My father, bless him, who's dead, every time he heard me speak, all he said was, "Too long, Richard." So on that basis, it's a pleasure to follow the Right Honourable Member for East Ham, and can I refer, Mr Deputy Speaker, myself to the Register of Members' Interest. I'm going to talk very briefly, probably no more than 5 minutes, on the corporation tax rise and the international minimum level of 15%. First of all, on the corporation tax rise, and I have huge respect for the Chancellor, and so I don't want this to be taken incorrectly, and the front bench too, of course, that during his 2019 leadership campaign, he proposed reducing corporation tax to 12.5%, which is what I believe is what the Republic of Ireland has. And now, of course, not only has it risen to 25, will rise 25%, although it looks like a 6% rise, actually it's not. It's a 31% rise in corporation tax, although I totally accept that the smaller companies will not be affected by this, and there are various capital allowances as well, which the larger companies can go for. But as has been said by many colleagues already, why complicate an already complicated tax system? Why not just keep it simple? And being a former soldier, that's what we are. The acronym was KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And I wish sometimes that politicians would do that. I'm also very surprised that this is international agreement on the minimum level of tax, the OECD scheme, has been pushed through with this bill. I find that quite extraordinary. The two do not sit comfortably together. And that's another observation that I would make. Now, as we all know, members on this side, or many, and some on the other, fought very hard to get back control of our country by leaving the EU. Our own laws, our own taxes, our own money, etc., 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 etc. So I'm completely bamboozled, and I've yet to hear a very good reason why we are now signing up to something where an international, unelected, multinational organisation can affect the very thing we try to escape from, which is setting our own taxes. And as my honourable member, and I forgive me, the honourable member sitting on the front bench in front of me there, Amber Valley, said so well, why don't we set our own, control of our own taxes, and surely we could have dealt with this on our own. So I do find this move to be subjected to tax rate set outside our country, I do find this really extraordinary. I'm having great difficulty, will have great difficulty in supporting this at third reading. The government, and I quote here, has said the effectiveness of this policy, quote, depends on a high degree of consistency of the implementation in different jurisdictions. Well, as I understand it, and although the Minister has listed a whole mass of countries to a question I raised earlier, countries including Singapore, Hong Kong and Thailand have announced they will be delaying implementation until 2025. I also understand, and I hope I'm correct, the EU have also broken what was agreed internationally, giving their smaller member states a 6-year delay before they too have to implement the measures. This will disadvantage UK-based multinationals' competitiveness against their EU rivals. And I remember campaigning for breakfast, the great thing, we were going to become an offshore Singapore, low tax, let's go, gung-ho, create business, create jobs, create wealth. That is what the Conservative policy is. So what on earth are we doing? We are literally signing ourselves up to a package that could once again see British courts overruled by foreign ones. And industry, and I've read much about it in the press, have called for this to be delayed. And the UK growth will be stunted by unnecessary, burdensome administrative costs for business. Now, all this is being put forward in a rush. There was no mention of the plans in either the Chancellor's budget statements, unless I missed something, or the accompanying Red Book and costings document. Her Majesty Treasury documents confirm the government still intends to implement Pillar 2 this year. Now, why are we having such minimum security on something that's going, minimum scrutiny, forgive me, on something that's going to have such potentially a huge effect on attracting business into this country. And I thought that's exactly what we wanted to do. Government's role, particularly on this side of the House, is to create an infrastructure in which business can thrive. And one of the main key levers for that are low taxes. And the lower the better. And as the Treasury frontbench well knows, on the whole, the lower the taxes, the more money comes rolling into their Treasury. Already mentioned is the size of all this, and it's here in front of me here, the two massive documents. Here too was 169 pages of the 2023 Finance Bill, 156 clauses and 5 schedules. That compares to the last Finance Act, 22, ran for 222 pages in its entirety, including schedules, and had 104 sections in total. So I really would ask the government to rethink, and I know the opposition benches have already, with glee, said that people like me are leaping up to oppose this. Yes, of course we are, because we are Conservatives. And when the House agrees on something, I've been here 13 years, and on 3 or 4 occasions the whole House has agreed with something, and every single time it's been wrong. Wrong. That is the biggest guide to me that something here has gone seriously wrong. So, if the United Kingdom, and I say this to the front bench, the best interest of this country is to delay implementation to 2025, even better, bin it altogether.
Yeah. Well done.
Oh, thank you.